Once again, the dynamic duo of Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler have assembled together again to bring us Sinners. And trust me, when I tell you this right here, I truly believe that this is the best film that we have seen thus far in 2025. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Lawrence Report. I'm so excited to talk to y'all about Sinners, man. This was one heck of a movie, y'all. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, make sure you hit that like button, and make sure you watch the entire video because I'm going to share my thoughts. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down. But first, as the old folks say in the church, we have got to set the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? We just saw a movie about vampires. So you already know. Listen, I ain't playing Ryan. I ain't playing Michael B. And you already know I done bought out my cross. And of course, this will not be complete. This will not be complete. Bam. I had to bring out my anointing oil. Michael B. Ryan, y'all did y'all thing. Now, for me, Sinners was absolutely breathtaking from the cinematography to the storytelling to the actors. They put on one heck of a performance. Bravo for everybody who acted their tail off in Sinners, right? And not to mention the deeply rich layered themes. I'm talking about the religion, the magic of it all, the racism, the strive to be a better person, for a better hope, for a better future. Listen, it's so deep. It's so richly layered. Now, of course, Sinners is a supernatural film written and produced and directed by Ryan Coogler, set in the 1930s with these two twins, Smoke and Stack. You know, they plan to return back to their hometown in hopes to start up a local juke joint, but unfortunately, they are going to be met with some evil that they have never seen or encountered before. Sinners, man, it blew me out of the water. Like, I have to see it again. It was just that good to me. Like Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, you can't go wrong with this 1-2 punch right here. So one of the many things I like about Sinners is this right here is original storytelling, right? So this was an idea that Ryan Coogler came up with himself. This wasn't from a book or from some other movie adaptation like that. Right here came straight from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Ryan Coogler. And we always say Hollywood that we're tired of remakes, right? And I am too. That's one of the many reasons why I love Sinners, because this was an idea that somebody decided to bring to the table, to bring to the forefront, to make it brand new and refreshing. Hands down, this probably was my favorite scene here. Whenever we end up seeing, whenever they're in that juke joint, right? And we end up seeing music, like the music from the past to the future to the present day, right? From every era, right? We got hip hop there, we got R&B, we breakdancing. That right there had to be one of my favorite scenes of Sinners, period. For me, when it came down to the music, when it came down to the blues aspect, they murdered it. The music in itself took a life of its own in Sinners, right? Like even whenever Preacher Boy was playing, and we saw that he was singing so loud and so hard that his music was basically summoning up those vampires to come see them, right? So that was crazy in itself. But the blues, the words, the guitar, the harmony, like it was so good. Michael B. Jordan is one of those actors that if you know he's playing in it, you gotta go see it. And I remember reading about the synopsis that Michael's gonna be playing a twin. I was like, how in the world did him and Ryan come up with this idea, with this concept? But I knew if Michael's playing in it, I knew it was gonna be fire. He absolutely killed this dual role. Even going back to the accents between the two twins, I thought he absolutely killed it. He murdered this dual role. He definitely bought it to the two twins, Smoke and Stack. I definitely enjoy what he did with those two twins right there. And I know again that wasn't easy, but the MVP for me had to be Preacher Boy Sammy himself, the one and only Miles Canton. This dude right here is so incredible. For this to be his first major feature film, this alongside two heavy hitters like Michael B. and Ryan Coogler, that is incredible in itself. And this guy, Miles, man, listen, he is so talented. That brother can truly sing. Preacher Boy was the MVP for me because we know a lot of times in church, and I got to go here when I say this right here. A lot of times when you're gifted or you're just one of a kind when it comes to the music, the way Preacher Boy was, he struggled with going out, going to the club for an example, or playing for God. You know what I'm saying? Because his daddy was a preacher. His daddy wanted him to basically follow in his footsteps, but to play for the Lord. And we know that was a struggle for him, especially because we saw the decision, ultimately, what he made in the end. Because I know we all done seen Sinners by now, so we know the decision that he made at the end. But listen, this guy, Miles Canton, he has a bright, bright future ahead of him. Oh my God, Preacher Boy Sammy stole it, y'all. He stole the show for me. That man's voice is so gifted. As far as Haley Steinfeld, this was a role that I didn't know how it was gonna go down with her, but boy, it definitely went down with her. And she even realized, I saw in an interview that she was talking about her history, her DNA, and that she finds out that she's kind of like mixed with black, right? In the bloodline, right? And even in this movie, she is basically a woman who is passing, but she's also biracial or mixed as well. Now Haley definitely put on the show. She definitely put on the show as well. I didn't know what to expect for her, but she definitely bought it. My guy, Delroy Lindo, loved him right there, but I also hated how unfortunately he had to be the lamb of sacrifice, right? Because we saw what happened in the movie, and I just wanted a little bit more time with him. I know he was considered to be like the old drunk or whatever, but I just wanted a little bit more time with Delroy because he's such a talented legend, iconic actor of our time. And last but not least, we gotta talk about Woomy and Jamie Lawson's character as well. Now, Woomy, her character, I definitely enjoyed the character of Annie. This was another character to me that was kind of like on that MVP level with Stack and Smoke and Preacher Boy, right? Because it was her. She came up and she was talking about um the word haints and voodoo and magic and stuff like that, right? It was her who kind of in garlic and stuff like that. It was kind of her knowing the mysticism, the magic of what could kill these vampires. She kind of helped save the day for me. And as far as Jamie Lawson character, she was cool, but to me, she kind of just played the damsel in distress, and she was a singer. Not too much on her. They could have gave her a little bit more, maybe, but it's like I said, she was just a damsel in distress to me. And because I live in the South, right, I've heard the term haints before. I know there was a character that Perline was mentioning, right? She mentioned the word haints. And for us living in the South, according to my grandfather, growing up as a boy, I've heard that word before. And that word right there was another term for ghost, right? Another term for the supernatural, another term for something like demonic, that's something that you do not want to be around. If you saw a haint, or if you felt like you was in the presence of a haint, you didn't even want to touch that right there because that was from another world. That's a ghost. That's supernatural. You don't want to be a part of that right there. So when I heard that word, I was like, oh snap. It made me go back to my childhood. It made me think about my grandfather telling those type of stories right there. So they definitely dug deep into their southern slang, the Jim Crow bag, I guess you could say. One of the things I could not help but notice, and we even say this currently in 2025, and I think Michael and Ryan kind of shed some light on this right here. When it comes to this right now, I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but this is literally the truth, right? We see how other people, other races, you know what I'm saying, they want to be like us a lot of times, right? But they don't want the stuff that comes with us, right? They don't want the blues that we have to face, the blues that we have to suffer with from time to time. You know what I'm saying? This ain't something that you just take on and take off. Like this is basically permanent if you get what I'm saying, right? And again, I think Ryan Coogler and Michael, they definitely shed a light on that situation right there when it comes to the blues. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy being in America a lot of times, right? And I can't imagine what it was like even for them back in the 1930s in the Jim Crow South. So when you put all of that together, it's a lot to handle at times. But we keep on going. We keep on going and going and going because we know that the promised land is without a doubt near. The only issue that I had with this movie was the pacing. This movie really didn't get started jumping until about 40 minutes in. You know what I'm saying? We first saw the first sighting of the Native Americans when they was looking, well, they was basically vampire hunting. That's when the movie started to jump from there. But it took a while for it to get settled in. You kind of learn about the history and the background of all of these characters and stuff like that. But once we got past, I probably say that 40 to 45 minute mark, I think it was good to go from there. So it was just only the pacing was an issue for me. But other than that, I would rate this a solid 10 for me. Make sure y'all go see Sinners ASAP. That's my thoughts, y'all. The Lawrence support. That is my thoughts. Make sure y'all go see it. Take a friend. Take multiple friends, y'all. Sinners. So good. So good. And as always, thank you for tuning into the Lawrence Report.